Taking the time out of the day and, middle of fourth quarter, we know we got a lot of important information going on. Not even the tip of it is, all the changes that's been going on with Choice Insurance, Glandon, FNBC. There's been no shortage of announcements, updates, and all sorts of things coming at you guys. So I wanted to just grab a few minutes at the beginning just to kind of do a little kickoff and introduce a few people of the team that are newer to the relationships, and just a little bit what's been going on with Choice as a whole, as you guys have seen. So as you guys know, Choice Insurance, new name, same great team. It's the old Glandon Insurance and FNBC are now one. Some of the updates we've had throughout the year, and I've been here since January 1st. We did bring Principal Financial in-house, and then we did bring on Allstate as a supplemental option for everybody as well. We got the same great support, education. Some of the newer pieces are the ancillary lines, which has fallen under my arena. My background is life, disability, supplemental, all that good stuff. And then the level funded is a little bit is my background as well. So I work with a traditional PPO and a lot of the
funny frog for a silly Nathan who keeps smiling and laughing.
I need to grab one more mute here.
You and me.
Sorry.
That's cute.
So, and then there's a couple things.
Oh my God. My nerd drawer is magical. Apparently.
Maybe I didn't mute them all. Okay. So I apologize for that. And then a couple of things to look forward to is we do have a lot of programs coming out, both support-wise, resource-wise, and technology-wise that'll be coming out for 2021. Part of that is a lot of this technology platforms that are being introduced now. So as we kind of go through them real quick, if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to me or Lindsay to discuss that. So the mission statement with Choice is we know you work hard to build your business and offer your clients top-notch products and service. You deserve a general agent that gives you the tools you need, support you deserve, and the product and training resources to make you stand out. Glandon Insurance Agency and FNBC are now Choice Financial Group Company, going as Choice Insurance, and offers cutting-edge resources, timely professional support, product training, and support to help you grow your business. So part of the carriers that I wanted to just introduce is, and a lot of it is just kind of making sure folks know that these are in our arsenal. Companion Life, Unum, Principal, Emeritus, Dominion National, One America, Kansas City Life, Lincoln Financial, and then of course the Allstate is the supplemental pieces. So a lot of those are life, disability, and dental carriers, and we will work with all group sizes. So just wanted you guys to be aware that we've got a lot of partners that we work with and a lot of options out there for you guys when you are going down that road. And I always encourage to ask and to kind of think about the ancillary pieces that you might not be grabbing with your core business. And then the technology offerings that we've brought along this year, Ease, which is a benefits admin and online enrollment. Benefix is an online quoting tool for the ACA and the small group. Quoted is a platform and a CRM for the individual and your senior business. And then, of course, HR 360 is a compliance library that all folks have access to as well. So spoke of the Medicare senior and individual side. That's been a lot of the breakouts and biggest developments over the past few months. With that comes this guy, Robert Anderson. And if you guys haven't talked with him, I really urge to reach out and grab a meeting. Very knowledgeable, high level expertise and capability for all your senior products and the individual offerings. And we work with you in multiple different ways. It can be a safe harbor, or we could just kind of partner with you to develop your skills and then let you be the agent on yourself. So that's Robert's information. This slideshow will go out, and I'm sure you guys have seen or talked with Robert already. So just wanted to make sure you can put the name with the face. Lucky him and lucky you guys. And then, of course, there's not enough labels to throw on Lindsay's page, but the group Medicare Senior, she's a pretty much catch-all for all FNBC and has become a great resource for us over here at the Glandon side as well. Definitely has worked in building strong long-term relationships with both you and your clients. And then works together with all of the partners and all of our team members just to make sure that everybody's handled and people are falling through the cracks with all that back-end office and the broker support. That's our information. If you guys don't have it. And then I get to be the small picture, probably for the biggest guy, which is pretty fitting. But I joined with Choice the first of the year and come with a background of the ancillary offerings, life disability, supplemental has been most of my career. With that, also became the level funded, working with the old Assurant Health folks, which is now National General. And then part of one of the services I work with you guys on is not only the marketing of the ancillary lines, but I work closely with the carriers that we choose to kind of either pin them down on some pricing or some other more flexible offerings for you guys. So definitely want to be able to be a resource for you guys in that capacity. Again, we're all here for anything you guys need. There's not enough pages to put for all of the true backroom support that you guys talk to every day. The Sarah Grubbs, Samantha Eastmans, Terry Wilkersons, Ashley Whitlow's, Maureen Glanders of the world. But just know that everybody's here as your support, and we're all here to get you taken care of. And then as Choice Insurance Agency, we want to be your one-stop shop for your comprehensive brokerage and client support. We combine the strength of working with people, build trust, and innovative resources to help grow and support you and your business. So again, a lot very quickly, and that's a lot of information that we very quickly went over, but urge you to reach out to any one of our team members to get up to speed and maybe ask any questions on some of those technological offerings, and definitely here to help you guys and for your support. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make Lance the host. And Lance, you might have to unmute yourself. There you go.
I am unmuted now, and I was going to say thank you, and Donna's going to kick us off. So I'm going to go back on mute, let Donna take this thing over.
Thank you. Thanks, Ross. Very glad to be with you all this afternoon. And as Ross said, thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with us, to learn a little bit about what we have going on at Optima Health and Centera, and what we have to share that may be valuable and important to you for fourth quarter and first quarter 2021. Next slide, Lance. Thanks. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to talk about a few things, again, going on organizationally at Optima and Centera that you may be interested in. Want to touch on some legislative and regulatory items that'll be important to you, updates on all market segments, and then the announcement of a new exciting program that'll benefit you all. Next. So of course, there's no meeting in 2020 that can occur without having some kind of reference to COVID. And at Optima Health, we are continuing to try to support in many different ways COVID resources for you, for our mutual employer group customers, providers, members. So there is a dedicated website landing page for our COVID policy changes and benefit changes. It was just extended, so all the different benefit modifications and such as cost share, zero cost share for telehealth, et cetera, those have been extended through November 30th at this point. So I think that's important. We're still trying to support some of those things. I know that we've heard some carriers, we're starting to change in how we are either continuing to pay or going back to the old way of paying some of these services. So this would be where you would get the most up-to-date information about where we stand on COVID benefits and policies. And again, most everything you're already familiar with has been extended through November 30. Next slide, Lance. So at a high level at Optima, we're concentrated on 3 main strategic imperatives. The first being growth across all product lines. And the main key there is that bullet highlighting the broker consultant relationship partnership. So we rely on our relationships with you, Choice Insurance, to accomplish our growth objectives, and that remains our number 1 imperative. Next, affordability. We can all agree that we have an affordability issue in our world of health insurance. So Optima has dedicated a number of new resources on value-based care development, total cost of care, and expense reduction. So affordability remains a big key and something that, again, strategically, we're very much focused on. And lastly, the customer experience, transformation of technology, and everything else that feeds into the experience that you, as one of our customers, as well as our mutual customers, our individual and employer group customers, we're dedicated to improving that experience and eliminating pain points. That's kind of our main areas of focus. Next, you probably have heard Virginia, our acquisition of Virginia Premier. We have pretty much completed the majority of the integration, especially in terms of all the staff and employee integration. Both brands continue to be operating independently in that Optima Health we have our own product line, and Virginia Premier continues to have their own product lines. The biggest differentiator there is Virginia Premier is focused in the Medicare and Medicaid space, and Optima Health, along with those, also has commercial. And so now total combined membership is approaching about 900,000. Next slide, please. And lastly, you may have seen an announcement. So at the Centera level, Centera and Cone Health have initiated a merger process. These things are rather lengthy, but this kind of shows you some of the key steps in the process, which will hopefully lead to a closing of the deal, perhaps mid-2021, I think is the anticipated timeline. What's lots of great synergies in this merger. Cone Health also has a health plan that is only offering at this time Medicare. the Cone Health is a system located in Greensboro, North Carolina area. And so, of course, with them having a health plan and us having a health plan, along with many other things across the health system, it makes for a very good match and will hopefully quickly strengthen our ability to perhaps have better access and future expansion into other products and other areas in North Carolina. So we're really looking forward to seeing, all the different strengths and advantages that this particular merger will bring both to Centera, to Optima Health, and to all of us and our customers. I think that's all I had before I turn it over to Lance to share with you some regulatory and legislative updates.
Thank you, Donna. We did want to talk about two items. We wanted to talk about the transparency and balanced billing legislation. So with that being said, the first thing I just want to make note of is that the overall intent of the transparency regulation was to ensure that all stakeholders, especially patients and members, are able to access price and quality information to help inform their health care and health insurance choices. So with that being said, we wanted to share with you the three main transparency regulations to pay attention to. Number one is the Virginia Shared Savings Bill for small employer groups. The second one is the Hospital Final Rule, which is a federal bill. And then thirdly is the proposed CMS federal rule. Effective January 1st of 2021, the Virginia Shared Savings Bill for small group employers seeks to incentivize members who shop and choose a lower cost provider for 6 specific services. And those services are physical therapy, occupational therapy, radiology, imaging, lab, and infusion therapy. This bill wants small group members to receive some form of incentive for shopping before obtaining care for a lower cost or from a lower cost provider for any of the 6 services we just mentioned. There were a number of concerns when this first came out tied to this bill, and several carriers, Optima Health included, have taken a look at this, and the concerns basically are that we don't think they adequately considered various factors like geography, the provider, the network, and other data points. So we, like many other carriers, have filed an exemption for the incentive portion of the bill, and the state did approve that exemption for us back in March of this year. So we are exempt from that part of the bill as of 2021, or for the 2021 plan year. Now, the second portion of the bill requires carriers to display provider rates for those same 6 services just mentioned, and to ensure that that data is readily accessible either through a transparency tool and or a toll-free number by July of this year. And we are happy to announce that we have met that requirement already. Now, the other significant transparency bill is a federal bill effective as of January 1st as well, and this bill requires hospitals to publicly disclose their charge data for at least 300 services. And I'm not going to read all those to you, but anyway, hospitals would need to provide and display their charge data in a machine-readable format, which should also be consumer-friendly. This bill has been met with a lot of opposition from several health systems and hospital association groups nationwide, and there are several lawsuits currently pushing this back at this point. Now, the proposed CMS rule is a federal level transparency bill requiring carriers to publicly share amounts members could owe for all covered services before a member or patient actually receives care. This bill is very specific on what needs to be displayed, including estimated cost share amounts, includes deductibles, MOOPs, co-pays, co-insurance, and negotiated rates for in and out of network services. This CMS bill has yet to be finalized, and we are not fully clear on what may change between the proposed and the final version. But again, we are in the process of watching this, and we do assume this is also going to have some lawsuits once it is near completion. So that was about transparency regs. Now I want to go into the balanced billing regulation. And I will share with you, it's interesting, Donna, Tim, and I just came out of a meeting about 30 minutes ago, an internal meeting about balanced billing. So we're still trying to figure a lot of this out. We're still have a lot of discussions internally and with the government and so forth, into trying to get all this finalized. But we're going to share with you what we know so far. So in April of this year, there were signed in 2 bills into law intending to end surprise medical billing in Virginia. Now, surprise medical billing would typically occur when a patient receives care at an in-network facility from an out-of-network provider. New balanced billing regulations are to be effective January 1st and are to be in place for fully insured plans, with self-insured plans having the option to opt in. These bills prohibit out-of-network Virginia providers working at an in-network facility from balance billing patients for emergency or non-emergency services involving surgical or ancillary services. If a balance billing event should occur, the member is only obligated to pay the in-network cost share amounts as noted in their health plan benefits. This will accumulate towards their in-network MOOPs and deductible. If there are still amounts owed to the out-of-network provider after the patient pays at the in-network rate, then those differences must be resolved with the patient's health insurance carrier and the out-of-network provider through good faith negotiations. Now, if there's no resolution through good faith negotiations, the dispute is then moved to arbitration. And this is the final step involving the State Corporation Commission as an independent party. They will then identify the final amount that both disputing parties would have to accept. Now, there are specific steps and timelines that are part of the good faith and arbitration negotiations that impact parties must adhere to. Ultimately, the state regulators are putting these processes in place through different levels of the bill to provide protections to the patients and to resolve the disputes and disagreements in a timely, transparent manner, where all parties are fully clear on the process. Look, sorry, I double-clicked there. So our regulators are hoping that most disputes will be settled outside of the State Corporation Commission process, so they don't have to be, or they don't have to frequently step into at the final independent arbitration step between the carrier and the provider. Again, this is all a new process. We are invested in being prepared to support and operationalize this, and things are well underway to be ready for January 1st. I am now going to hand it off to Mr. Tim Glebus to go over some easy to do business with updates and some of our segment updates. Tim, are you out there?
Yeah, I can't find him on this list to unmute him either.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and go through it. Number one, we wanted to go through the easy to do business with updates. So in case you didn't know this already, we have sent out some broker alerts to let everybody know that we are now doing electronic contracts for our small and mid-market group segments. What this basically does is this expedites the whole process for us. So a group will now receive an email when the contract is ready. And that link that they get in that email is active for 5 business days. It basically gives them an opportunity to go in and take a look at the contract and digitally sign that contract. Now, if for some reason they don't respond within 5 business days, or maybe we don't have an email on file, we will reach out to the account team, and they maybe reach out for you guys to help. But whatever we can do, we're going to try to send out those digital contracts first, and then only use the old paper copies if worst case scenario falls to that. Another thing we wanted to make sure everybody's aware of is our enrollment website. You know, Donna mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, it's kind of hard to have a meeting and not bring up COVID in some way or shape or form. But again, as you all know, it's made it interesting out there. And we know it's harder a lot of times to go out and do open enrollment meetings and have face-to-face meetings. So we have set up a website for you all to go to. It's optimahealth.com/get enrolled. And there are various videos out there to look at. The potential members, before they go through the enrollment process, can get more information about Optima Health and get a better understanding about how the networks are, how they work, how the plans work, and so forth. So this is kind of exciting for us because it gives us an opportunity to help you guys help out in these different times of need. And then also we do every year when we have these end of the year meetings, we always have updates for our next year's material. So we want to let you know, we do have website links out there. Hopefully, if you haven't seen it already, you're going to see it soon, but there'll be some emails going out that will share the links to our product guides. And then we also have the broker rewards flyers that we wanted to talk about in a little bit. So a lot of this will be available digitally, as well as you'll have a way to click on a link at the website to order hard copies if you still want hard copies of different items.
Lance?
There you are. Hey, Mr. Greetus. All right. I'm going to be quiet and let you take over from here.
Well, I went to unmute myself, and I don't know what happened. It hung up. Thanks for pitching in, Lance. I certainly appreciate it. I do have to point something out here. Apparently, the last time I used Zoom, it was for a team building event, and our team was called the Skinny Dippers. So that's why it says Tim Skinny Dippers there. So anyway, sorry about the technical difficulty. So I am going to be covering small group, mid-market, and business edge, also talking about broker rewards program, which is our new broker program that you can earn points by selling business with Optima. But right now, I'm just going to jump in here and get you some updates for small group. So for 2021, small group will continue to offer a full array of plan options and all the metallic levels, including bronze. Obviously, we want to offer as much choice for our employees as well as their our employers as well as their employees. And of course, we want to offer a flexible contribution strategy. So remember, we don't have any minimum contribution levels for any of our products that we're talking about today. All of our plans are still self-referred, so they're all open access. New for 21 is that we will have preventive RX before deductible on our equity plan. So that's a change from last year. And applied behavioral analysis is now available in small group. It's also available in mid-market and business edge. In the past, depending on which segment you were talking about, there might have been limitations or it might not have been covered at all. So this is a difference from last year into this year for small group. All right, again, kind of the same thing with mid-market. Let's look at some updates from last year into 21. But the first one is that we do have a way for not only you, but your groups can benefit in the mid-market segment by moving to Optima. And how that works is for the fourth quarter of this year, any new business that's written in the mid-market will receive a premium credit of 100% of the first month's premium. So a real nice opportunity for groups to take advantage of that for the fourth quarter of 2020 in mid-market, okay? Like I said, a couple of updates on the mid-market. The out-of-area dependent program is included for all of our mid-market groups, covers dependent children living outside the Optima service area, allows them to have access to the PHCS network of providers at an in-network benefit level on our HMO and point of service plan. So really what this does, it takes away that need of a PPO plan just for one member who happens to be that dependent child living outside the service area, whether it's for school or a divorce decree or something of that nature. Like small group, preventive RX before deductible on our equity plans, our HSA plans for 21. In mid-market, we have the option of both standard and open formularies. and predictable RX tiers on tiers 1 through 3. In the past, we had a tier 3 was listed as the greater of the copay, or 20%, so that 20% has been removed from tier 3. So now it's just, as I said, a predictable copay. Okay. All right, and kind of the same drill with Business Edge and Business Edge Elite. Some updates from last year into this year, and then some administrative notes as well. So for 21, we are continuing to proactively provide Business Edge proposals to our fully insured block and small group that may benefit from the cost sharing by converting to our level funded product. Of course, if you have an existing group that may be interested in Business Edge and they don't receive a conversion offer, please reach out to your Optima Health account team to request a proposal. So we're always trying to find ways to make doing business with Optima easy, and we're making the Business Edge administration more flexible too. So we've gone in and streamlined the process. Now, Business Edge paperwork is due the 20th of the month preceding the effective date. When you do have a group moving the Business Edge from the fully insured plan or even another carrier, we recognize some employers may have cash flow concerns due to COVID or other business pressures. So we will just need to obtain a binder check for Business Edge prior to the effective date versus the previous requirement of 15 days in advance. As of December 1st, we're also relaxing the final enrollment fluctuation threshold, which will increase to 15% instead of 10. Quick example, you get a group of 20 enrolled that was previously allowed a variance of up to 2. Now that same group will be allowed a variance up to 3 enrolled without having to go back and forth to underwriting. And really that's what this is about. It's the time that we spend kind of going back and forth with underwriting if we have enrollment changes. So hopefully this will help to cut that down. A friendly reminder, as the slide suggests, but really trying to put a finer point on this, we have to have the contracts for Business Edge and Business Edge Elite in-house signed before the effective date. Because of the nature of the product, it is a legal requirement. So we're asking y'all's help today in getting those back in a timely fashion once they're out for signature. So something to keep in mind. And as I mentioned with small group, ABA is now available on Business Edge as well. All right, so let's talk about the Broker Rewards Program, what it is, and then I'll finish up with some ways that you can earn some points for the program. It's a point-based program, as I said, rewards you for selling new business with us on either the group side or the individual side. It's in addition to all the commissions we pay. And there are other opportunities, and there will be other opportunities throughout the year in ways than other just selling to earn points. And so those will be announced as we go through the year. I got one here at the end of the presentation that I'll show you as an example. But there really will be opportunities throughout the year beyond just selling to earn points for the program. Okay. A couple of the details of the housekeeping items around the program. All brokers that are licensed and appointed with Optima are eligible. They must opt in by completing the shown form here, the W9 SF-W9 for Broker Rewards. And then after that, it will auto renew. The points accumulate, but they do not expire, and they can only be earned by the selling broker, and they're not transferable. So if the broker changes agencies, the points remain with the broker. He or her does not carry those with them. And they're taxed upon redemption. So if you're building up for something big and the year changes over from 20 to 21 or whatever the case may be, you're not going to be taxed until you actually redeem the reward, and the points have no cash value and they cannot be redeemed for cash. So how do you use them? Well, it's a website, and it's very simple to use. Lance, Donna, and myself have all been on it. And you kind of have to think along the lines of an Amazon type site where you have multiple pages within the site that you can go. and view things. There's a huge catalog of items, but it's not just your typical, hey, I'm going to go buy a Bose speaker or a new computer. There are gift cards. There's a travel agency actually within the website that you can go to and explore adventure trips, cruises, things of that nature. And then there's also the option to give away your points for charities. There's also gift cards. So there's a wide variety of ways that you can spend your points. So let's talk now about earning points. So selling new business was something that I mentioned earlier, and that's the obvious choice here. So for small group, business edge size, small group, 1 to 49 will give you 25 points per contract. 50 and above, 50 points per contract. And then on the mid-market side, and those business edge and business edge elite groups that are mid-market size, so from 1 to 99, again, 25 points, 100 and up on mid-market, 100 points. So as you can see, it can accumulate very quickly in order to go out and purchase whatever you want off the website through the Broker Rewards program. There are other opportunities than just selling. So Lance, next slide. So this year for Q1 of, I should say next year, right? So for Q1 of 2021, if you convert a fully insured group with Optima over to a business edge group in that first quarter, we'll give you 100 points per contract. So as I mentioned, we'll have things like this throughout the year where you will be able to earn points outside of just selling new business, okay? It's a great program. It's been a long time coming, the Broker Rewards program. It's been over a year in construction. Annie Alexander, who heads up our operations division, put all this together. Please go visit the website. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at not only the variety, but the ways that you can spend those points. And with that, I think I turn it back over to Ross to close it up.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate a lot of good information. I don't have any questions in the chat as of yet. Probably didn't, because I didn't tell anybody there was a chat for questions, but they typically know how to get a hold of everybody. I do have a recorded session of this presentation, so if anybody does need it, feel free to reach out. And if there's no other questions, then I thank everybody for the time, and we can enjoy at least a nice day from our windows.
Thank y'all.
All right, thanks, guys.